Hi everybody. Firstly, can I thank everybody for the help you gave me regarding the height of a tunnel. As you can see, this class 56 is just underneath Metcalfe Bridge, which is sitting on track, and the track is on 3mm cork. Now, from the top of the track with the cork in situ, it's about 7 centimeters. So what I've decided to do is to make my upper level 10 centimeters, and that will allow for any trains that have pantographs. As someone mentioned, you have to allow the height of a tunnel to include trains with pantographs. So I will be making it 10 centimeters, which should accommodate any locomotive, plus the additional cork and track. That container wagon also clears the tunnel. So yeah, if I make it 10 centimeters, it should be fine. That 08, that's a demo 08 that I'm going to put in the scrapyard. It's got no motor in it. Why I put it there, I have no idea. So that's the tunnel situation resolved. Now, the electrics. If I move you around, and I apologise for any shakiness until I find my tripods, I've got to hold the camera. So what I've decided to do is there will be 3 bus wires. For the main bus wire for locomotives, and this will only be for locomotives, it will be powering anything else, are these power distributions, and it's got an in and it's got an out. And when I wire the tracks, I'm going to use that, is it Nidium, where black is back. So I'm going to use, for the bus wire for the track, I'm going to use black and red. So black will be at the back. So I'm going to put black in all of these and red in all of these. Now what I want to do, which is why I haven't screwed the baseboard down, is I'm going to screw these obviously underneath. I've got about 25, so I'm going to put them all the way around, so I've got plenty of wire, dropper wires from the track to these. And then what I want to do is lay the baseboard down, and there'll be wire coming out of these to the next one, which will be going through the hole in the bars, the strengtheners that I put on the layout, and they'll all be daisy chained together. You can see a block there, and that's going to be for my workbench, for soldering irons and that sort of thing. And if I pan around, there's another one there. So my controller panel, everything else is going to be across there. So this gap is about 4 foot wide, which I'm pleased about. I've never had a gap so big. I've always been squashed up in the attic. So yeah, those, if I come back round, those connectors, as I mentioned, will be for, if I look at it right, I see the name of the company. They have quite a lot of interesting electronics. So when I daisy chain these together, after I put the baseboard down, I'm then going to put these in. Now you can just make out to the left, if we can get it into focus. Here's a resistor. Now I've just put that one in there for just for show. I'm going to start it for the 1K resistor, and these again will be probably below these. So I'll have a row of these. They probably won't go all the way around, and I'll show you why in a minute. It'll probably go from the block behind me when I install the panel. That's going to have all the switches and so on it. It'll probably go from that, maybe halfway round, or 3/4 of the way round. So it'll accommodate station platforms, street lights, that sort of thing, away from my town scene. I'll show you why in a minute. But that resistor will give me the option to change. If I wanted to dim the lights, if they're too bright, I can put a higher resistance in. So the power will be coming in here, positive and negative. Positive there, negative there, and then I'll just daisy chain all the lights along here, so they'll all receive the power. I could also use, if I wanted to, a potentiometer. Now, a potentiometer, and I've got several of those. They're all packed away at the moment, but that's like a variable resistor. Some use a screwdriver, some has a dial on it, and you turn a dial to increase the brightness or the resistance, and turn it back to decrease it, the resistance, so it'll go brighter or darker depending on which way you turn it. And that's what a potentiometer can do. So I may put one of them in there to control the brightness of the lights. I've got 1K and I think 10K potentiometers. But that's why that resistor there, just to show you that you could put a resistor in line. So you don't have to put resistors on all your lights. So if you have a 3 volts, 12 volt feed, 3 volt lights, that resistor would control the resistance to each of the lights. So that's that. Now, as far as the town scene is concerned, I'm going to use these. Get into shots. These are from the same company, and these are to control the lights on the town scene. I've got 2 of these. Now, it has power coming in, so you can either use a dedicated power supply or use power from, I could use power from there into there, or its own feed, which I have. I'm going to use my own feed into this. So it's got a dedicated feed, and then daisy chain it to the other one. And the switches allow for 3 different brightnesses. So I could have all the town scenes. For example, in here, this block here, I could have light in buildings. And these dip switches will control there. So I could have the lights dimmer to say street lights that I could put in here or there. I also have cars with lights in, with wires coming out the bottom, which I'll probably put on the town scene. I could bring them through and put the cars into there. So there's multiple options of using these. And again, this will be underneath the baseboard, it won't be on top. What I might do with these though, so I can gain access to the switches, is to incorporate it into my panel behind me. So it'll be easy to switch on and off each different light. Now, rather than use bare wires, what I've also decided to use, or before I go on to the next thing, these, because they're going to be screwed into a board, you can't really have soldering points directly on, especially if you're screwing them in, which I am, on these 4 points here. You might damage some of the soldering points. So I'm going to use this. And I'm going to cut it into lengths just long enough to use them as legs on these. I'm going to cut them with this. I bought this primarily to cut track. So you can see a cutting track there. It's like a guillotine, electronic guillotine. It also cuts things such as that. Oh, my wife just knocked on the door and gave me a cup of coffee. So I had to stop. I think I was up to this bit, where this is like an electronic guillotine, stroke saw. I've cutting track and things like this. I bought it to cut track, and this, because I want to use a thinner version of this for downpipes on buildings. A square guttering, because I've got U-shaped ones and I've got square ones. U-shape, obviously, for the gutter, and they're downpipes. But anyway, yeah. So what I want to do with those, and those, rather than just put bare wires in, I'm using these. These are insulated, insulated what? Let's turn it over and see if it's got something on the other side. Nope, what did I say? They're insulated connectors that are using crimping irons. Crimpers. That's what I'm using, which is a star crimper. So I want to crimp the ends of all the wires and put them in these terminal blocks. With those crimpers, you can crimp 2 wires together and then daisy chain them. I'll show you that when I get around to that bit, what I mean. So I hope all this makes sense. In addition to these 2 bus wires, there's going to be a third. And I'll probably use either these or another set of these for points. I'm not too sure how many points I have, but I have a number of the Pico twist lock to go with my Pico points. I'm using code 100 points. The twist locks, point motors, seem very easy to install, and I'll show you that when I get round to it. So yeah, there'll be, I'd say 3 bus wires going all the way around, but the only one that's going to go all the way around, I think, will be the one for the track. That one and the one for the points may only go around 2/3, because the bit that's going to go right along the back, the upper layer, I'm just going to have 2 loops. There'll be no point, no track. There'll be no, I'll start again. There'll be no points or turnouts, whatever you want to call them, along the upper layer. So yeah, that's it as far as the layout's concerned on this video. If I get around to it, I'll start the upper layer and I'll show you that. But as mentioned, on the 22nd of this month, I'm having my other knee replaced. So I may not be able to get in here for a number of weeks, but I don't know. So yeah, hopefully you may see another video on the upper level. So thanks very much, and thanks again for everybody that helped me with the previous video. So bye for now. Hi again. I forgot to mention one of the power supplies I'll be using. They're absolutely brilliant if you know what you're doing, for powering bits and pieces on your layout. This will be powering everything other than the turnouts, point motors, and the town scene lights. It's simple power supply from desktop computer, which you can buy or use from a dead computer. Take the power supply out and do this with it. You get, if I turn it over, 12 volts, 5.25, 3.25 outputs. That one is the motherboard. Power supply to the motherboard needs a resistance for it to power up. So you have to create a loop, which then creates a resistance, which would normally be controlled by the motherboard in a computer, but it just wouldn't switch on. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly show you this. I've got a couple of these I made up, and Again, if you know what you're doing, it's very easy to do, to make these to power part of your layout. So that's that. Thanks again for your help. Bye bye.